The Boys and Invincible, Nations at War like Vin Diesel and The Rock. Both are shows that deviate from mainstream superhero media in very different ways, but they're compared often for their evil Superman antagonists and being alternative forms of superhero entertainment. While Marvel is using the multiverse as a crutch and a struggle to produce good stories, and while DC is taking years to pump out low-tier garbage, Invincible and The Boys are thriving, so I wanted to make this video about my thoughts on both of them versus each other, because I've been asked before which one is better and I have a very complex answer to that, so let's dive in. And to be clear, I love both of these shows. I'll start with Invincible. Invincible is an animated superhero show about teenage Mark Grayson who is starting to develop powers from his father Omni-Man. Basically just like Superman, he comes from another planet where people have super strength and can fly and all that. It's the coming of age story about Mark who has to decide what kind of hero he wants to be. He struggles in choosing certain battles to prioritize, how far he wants to go with certain enemies, and how to balance his normal life with his superhero persona, Invincible. He has to make tough choices and learn new things as he grows into it. There are so many connecting, interworking plot lines going hand in hand with one another, and nothing is untouched. The emotional aspects of everything are fully displayed. All the pain, tragedy, and drama isn't just skipped over like it would be in a 90-minute movie. No, you really go through it with these characters, and it's an emotional masterpiece. The plots range far and wide. There's Mark, who's learning to become a superhero, Robot trying to be human, an evil race of alien parasites called the Sequids, the Viltrumite Empire with their goal to conquer all planets, Alan the alien, Mark's personal life, Donald's existential crisis, Rex and the Lizard League. There's so much going on, but it flows together so smoothly that it doesn't feel like a messy cluster. It's all like one connected story still. So what are the flaws? Well, really not much. My only main issue with Invincible is the pacing. The pacing's pretty bad, especially in Season 2. The Sequids have way too much focus and attention. By the end of that plot, you'd think that they would latch on to somebody important secretly, but no, after it all, the Sequid just takes over the same guy. That plot had way too much focus, whereas Angstrom Levy had very little. Angstrom's entire origin was shown in the first episode of Season 2, and then he does almost nothing until he's suddenly the final boss of that season in the last episode. They did almost nothing to build him up at all throughout the season. The Viltrumites threatening their takeover of Earth to Mark is a really huge urgent matter, so what does Mark do? Well, he decides to stay on that alien planet for like 2 months, doesn't really tell anyone, doesn't tell Cecil about it, just nothing. Even though his entire planet is being threatened by a race of evil supermen, the most pressing threat has little to no focus. I'm sure that plot is just a slow burn in the background, but they treat it like nothing in the show. Mark is taking way too long to get strong. We see him get beat down a lot. In every other episode, he's pinned on the ground, getting his face punched in repeatedly until someone or something saves him. He's literally shown up by cavemen at one point. I've seen all these people type paragraphs about how, actually, that's a dimension where humans kept behaving like cavemen and got super strong or whatever, but one of the creators says that Invincible can literally kill Superman easily, and apparently it wouldn't even be close. Superman, who can fly around the Earth fast enough to time travel and go through black holes. So, yeah, pacing, which everything I just said falls under, is the only issue with the show. Now let's look at The Boys. So The Boys takes place in a very realistic world where there are people with powers marketed as superheroes, but they're corporate shills propped up like celebrities, and they're just as bad as the world that they're supposed to be defending. They do nasty things with their powers that real people of high status do with their own, and this group of men who've mostly been hurt by these heroes go out and violently hunt them down and expose their entire organization. This show does an incredible job satirizing superhero media and even real-world politics. The characters aren't one-dimensional, they're all complex, especially Homelander. He's the evil Superman antagonist. He's erratic and we never know what his next move is. The mysteries that the boys go around uncovering are so deeply intriguing, like Compound V, Kimiko, Soldier Boy. I love a good mystery thriller, and that's kind of what this show is. And no punches are pulled. It's not like the basic, guy gets hit by someone who has super strength and goes flying back into a car. No, it's all realistic and the CGI is excellent. It's got this really cool David and Goliath part where the men here don't have superpowers, so they have to find creative ways to kill the people who do. It definitely keeps you tense, especially when Homelander's on screen, and it's interesting to see what happens next. But it does have many flaws. The main one is that the characters don't really get anywhere. They have small victories here and there, but every step forward is 2 steps back. They often go in circles, having little success because of either rash decision making or because superheroes foil their plans first. The stakes are never really shaken up until Temp V and Soldier Boy and all that. The Stormfront arc is a slog to get through, and blackmail is an overused plot device. Their way around pretty much any situation, especially for the first 2 seasons, is, if you do this, then I'll post this bad thing you did on the internet. And for some reason, that seems to be like super kryptonite to all of the superheroes out there. The third season actually does shake up the stakes and deviate from blackmail, but I need to see more of the show standing on its own without those things, with like season 4, which is coming around the corner. I think my biggest flaw though, personally with The Boys, is the repetition. Every single conversation flows the exact same way. It starts with the superhero talking about something casual or meaningless because just their presence is intimidating, and the other person's all intimidated. They're like, why are you here? You know, just begging to get down to business, and then they do. I hate that this is literally every single conversation. It's getting so repetitive. Like, the writers don't know how to make dialogue outside of this format. So even though they're both very different, which show is better? My answer? Invincible is better, but I like The Boys more. Let me explain. Invincible is the better show. Invincible has loads of inner working plots and arcs on grand scales with minimal flaw, whereas The Boys is plagued with repetition and generally being stagnant. However, my taste buds are just built different. I'm more into mystery, thriller, horror than action-adventure superhero. The Boys is definitely more of a mystery thriller. I like edgy things, which my Sonic video made pretty clear. I like realism. Most of my favorite shows and movies are realistic fiction. The Boys is as close as it gets to realistic superheroes. I also really like anti-heroes. You know, some people love heroes. You got the people who love villains with their Joker and Homelander edits. I like an anti-hero, like Butcher. He's morally ambiguous and complex, and I like a good revenge story as well. I much prefer live action to animated, by the way. So those are all just things I'm into personally, and despite the fact that I enjoyed The Boys a lot more, I can still recognize that Invincible is objectively the better show. So comment down below which one you like more and why. Invincible Season 2 just dropped, and The Boys Season 4 is right around the corner. I cannot wait for that. The new age of alternative superhero media is good to get into while we wait for James Gunn to revive DC. Alright, laters.